120 years old. So let's thank you, Audrey. Thanks for the support. And I am going to start to explore. I have a microphone, as you should hear me well, and I would like to show you the church Saint-Julien-le-Pauvre. Today we are going to see one of the oldest churches in Paris. They even pretend to be the oldest church in Paris. But Saint-Julien-le-Pauvre, can you imagine, was built in the 1100s, and there is a celebration. So I am not going to. I'm going to see, because I hear a voice, but maybe there is no celebration. Let's go have a quick look. Okay, so there is a celebration at the moment. So I will. Welcome to one of the oldest churches of Paris. So you know, there is a celebration, so I don't want to disturb, as I'm respecting that. I asked to the guard, he said, it's fine, I can film, but I just stayed at the entrance. You would be surprised, huh? The language you heard is not French. It's because this church is a Greek Catholic church, and they have Byzantine music, and there is actually a celebration in this church. It's one of my favorite churches in Paris. Look, you have some parts of the 1100s, and when you look over there, you even find a Roman pavement. So I hope you enjoyed the view inside, and you know, I will not disturb them like speaking, and so yes, I hope you see why. But let me show you a nice view. Do you like the view from here too? A nice Parisian street with Notre Dame in the background. Look at the sun we have today. Look at the beautiful light we have. I'm going to take you to see the most famous American bookstore in the world. Yes, it's in Paris, and that bookstore is named Shakespeare and Company. Yes, Fraser, the name of the church, I forgot to mention it, is Saint-Julien-le-Pauvre, Saint Julian the Poor, and it was built 20 years before Notre Dame. Notre Dame was built in 1163 until 1345. And look, this bookstore is so popular, Shakespeare and Company, that you have a line to enter the bookstore. Have you ever seen that? You have to wait to be able to buy books. It was opened by an American woman named Sylvia Beach in 1921, and it was a bridge between the English literature world and the French one. I have a document to show you. You can see Sylvia Beach. I'm just posting it in the chat. And you have partly a bookstore, partly a library. And the concept is that the people working in the library and the bookstore are themselves writers, and actually they work in it, they read one book per day, and they are writers, they can stay for free in the building. So Shakespeare and Company, look at this, it's really very long today. Like a year ago it was not like this. Thank you, Corinne, thanks for the support. And it's good to see that bookstores are still alive. Like one more view of Notre Dame, and then we will say goodbye to Notre Dame for today, because the tour is in the Latin Quarter. So let's explore the Latin Quarter. So sorry if I didn't reply to some of your questions. I don't know if they were. It's just going very fast in the chat. So sorry, don't hesitate to ask it again. Thank you, Eileen and Colin. Thanks for the support. And look at these two little, like two little house right there. Two little house. The one on the right is named Odette. And when I have tours here, like in-person tours, I always take my guests to have a cream puff at Odette. And trust me, all of them like it. So, and we are going to see some cream puff. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you, Laurie. Thanks for the support. And look, aren't these two little houses cute? They are so cute. They survived. And they are located in the Rue Galande, a very ancient street. It's a Roman street. And trust me, but when I was younger, in that Caveau des Oubliettes, it's a pub and a place where you have jazz clubs and music in the basement. There used to be a real guillotine, but they sold it, so no more guillotine in the pub. Thank you, Peg. Thanks for the support. So, as I said, in the Latin Quarter, you have the oldest things, and we are going to go on the oldest street of Paris right now. We're just going to cross it. Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks for the support. We are just going to cross it because I want to show you a part where you didn't have the destruction of the 1850s and the streets are still like late medieval streets. You see, pretty narrow. Thank you, Janet. And the church is named Saint-Séverin, Victor. And look that street. That's the narrowest street of Paris. Can you imagine? It's named Cul-de-sac Salambrière. And actually, if you need some salt, you can ask your neighbor, hey, pass me the salt. Or do you have some garlic? Yes, I do. Please give me some. It's so narrow. Thank you, Tessa. So that's the narrowest street of Paris. Now they blocked it, you know, because, well, you have many pubs around, many students. The Latin Quarter is the student district of Paris. And I guess that, you know, after like the Sunday morning, that street would be used as, you know, I don't need to explain, but lots of pubs, so they closed the street. So look, we are going to enter Saint Severin Church. And you know, in churches, I'm not speaking too loud. So I hope you can hear me well. This church is known for having the most beautiful group of Gothic columns. Can you see here that the central column, and it looks like a palm tree. So that church from the Middle Ages, with its ribbed vaults, Gothic columns, the most beautiful. Look, it looks like a forest of palm trees. Gabriele D'Annunzio, an Italian poet, used to say that church is the center of the world. So Diane, the name of the church is Saint Severin. Saint Severin, Severin. And look at the beautiful organ they have. And what is nice in this church is they are cleaning the paintings. Look, this painting hasn't been cleaned, and look at this one. You see the difference? They just finished to clean the paintings of the 1800s. Beautiful, huh? So you see, windows from the 1800s. And this is when the paintings are not yet cleaned. That's how all the painting used to look like, and slowly but surely, they are cleaning them. D'accord, je sors. Pas de problème. So, I am going to show you the organ. Beautiful organ of the 1700s. And the choir of the church. So, by the way, happy Easter to everyone. Happy Easter. And they are going to have celebrations in the church as well. So back, isn't it like we were in another atmosphere, like another world, like in the Middle Ages? And now we're back to Paris, back to the streets. And you have the oldest bell of Paris in that tower, a bell from 1412 named La Massée, and you recognize the flamboyant Gothic style. You see the rose window, it makes like flames. Thank you, Anne. Thanks for the support. That is Saint-Séverin Church, one of my favorite churches with Saint-Julien-le-Pauvre. Well, the Latin Quarter has so much to offer. Oh, we can see it pretty. Let's enter the camera in this place. It's under renovation, but you can see. Thank you, Diane and Carol. Thank you, Justin. Thanks for the support. Look at that. That's the oldest ossuary, the only one ossuary left in Paris. An ossuary is a channel house. That's simply the place where in the Middle Ages people would be buried right there, and after a few years they would take the bones to take them and place them in these houses. All of them have been emptied in the late 1700s, early 1800s, but that's the only one that remained. So there is no more bones, but it's a sign of the cemeteries that used to be around the churches of Paris. They removed the bones of the cemeteries starting in the 1780s. It took 30 years, and many of you know about the catacombs in Paris. The bones were placed in the catacombs. Look, we have two very ancient houses. You see these two houses there? They are medieval. And thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Janice. They are medieval, narrow houses. And I want to show you some street art from a French street artist named C215. It's about a French writer, Maurice Genevoix. I read his 4 books about his experience as a lieutenant during the First World War. And 2 years ago, he was buried in the Pantheon, where you celebrate the greatest people of France. So the artist made a portrait of him. Thank you, Sandy. Thanks for the support. And now, a surprise for the guest from Canada. You are going to see the Canadian bookstore. We have seen the American bookstore. His name, Joy, is Maurice Genevoix. Genevoix. And the Canadian bookstore, the Abbey Bookshop, in a beautiful building. So this is dedicated to all my Canadian voyageurs. Look, just as we arrive, the wind. And in that bookstore, 40,000 books. Je reste juste là. Look at that, 40,000 books, only in English. So that was the Abbey Bookshop. And yes, the smell of real books, Linda, I like it too. And it's second-hand books. It's a good question. It's the vast majority are second-hand books. If I have more books, Diane, no. I don't have 40,000 books. I wish, but I don't have the space. But I have now 7 places with shelves in my apartment, full. Thank you, Helen. Thanks for the support. So let's continue the Latin Quarter tour. And we will arrive to a famous crossing. On the right, you can see the Vélib. That's the public bikes I'm using a lot. And well, before we are crossing the famous Saint-Germain, as I said at the beginning, you know, Hego is closing soon. So if you want to continue to have information where the next tours will take place, don't hesitate to add me on Facebook, Paris with Flow, Paris with space Flow, FLO. And if you are not on Facebook, just send me a mail at pariswithflow@gmail.com. pariswithflow@gmail.com. And of course, once we the other guide, we have found a solution, I will contact you. So, thank you, friend. So we move to the 11th district. Thank you, friend. Thank you, Gardina. Thanks for the support. So look, it's a very famous boulevard here. It's a very famous crossing. You are at the crossing of Boulevard Saint-Michel and Saint-Germain Boulevard. Thank you, Carol. Yes, it's more affordable. Christian, we will find a way, like buy me a coffee or something. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Nilu. Thank you, Yon. You can see now one of the oldest buildings in Paris. The building that you see now is the former Roman bath. So if you want to have an idea how it was, I am posting 2 documents right now in the chat. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Maud. Thanks for the support. Thank you very much. And the walls that you see over there are 1800 years old. So we have seen them last week in the tour of the Roman Paris, but I will show you part of the building that I didn't film last week. So the Roman baths were very important in the Roman cities. It was part of the daily life of the Roman. It was extremely cheap to enter the Roman bath. It was calculated that with actual money, it would cost like 50 cents of euros or like 50 cents of a dollar. And that was very cheap. But bringing water was a problem, so they built a huge aqueduct to transport the water from Rungis until Paris. Thank you, Sharon. Yes, Barbara, the tour will come back. Thank you, Tara. Thanks for the support. And yes, you know, it also breaks my heart that Hego is closing. But we will carry on. And yes, I will continue giving live tours. As you know, I'm a professional tour guide, and if you know me, you know I love books. So let me show you my favorite bookstore. One of my 2 favorite bookstores, Gilbert Joseph. This is the most famous bookstore of the Latin Quarter. In my families, but not only, we are going there for generations. The whole building is filled with books, and what I like is there are new and second-hand books. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Carol. Mark, what year was the bath built? We estimate that they are from the 2nd century AD. So they are like 1800 years old. So now you see the entrance of the Museum of the Middle Ages, and the Museum of the Middle Ages is located in the Roman bath. Rebecca, it's mostly French books, They have a few books in foreign languages, but the vast majority of the books are French. And every time I am in the neighborhood, I'm going to have a look. And you know what I'm going to do after the tour? Hey, I'm going to have a look. If there is like a book I don't have, I have to be careful now. I don't buy as many as used to be, but I still have some room. We are going to see a beautiful, beautiful building, which is totally unique on the left bank. We will see the only private mansion of the Middle Ages. We have churches from the Middle Ages. We have houses. We have city walls. But a private mansion, we have only one on the left bank, and you start to see it on the left. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to enter in the park for you to have a nice view. Thank you, John and Colette. Thanks for the support. Thank you, Jane. That's Cluny, Victor. That's the Hôtel de Cluny. Oh, look, isn't it beautiful? Beautiful light. And private mansion. Yes, Hélène, I just moved to the new apartment. And look, I'm going to move a little bit more in that direction so you can see the building better. So you are going to have a nice view now. Isn't it a beautiful medieval building? You have only one building like this on the left bank. It's a former Hôtel de Cluny, private mansion of the Abbey of Cluny. The monks of Cluny had the biggest monastery in Europe, in Burgundy, and actually, they needed like an embassy when they were in Paris. So nowadays, this is the Museum of the Middle Ages. And when you go to the Louvre, you want to see the Mona Lisa. And you know, I saw the Mona Lisa twice today. I was guiding in the Louvre in the morning, and I was guiding in the Louvre in the afternoon. And in the afternoon, it was a lovely guest from Hago, Elizabeth, who contacted me, and we had 3 tours together, and today we were in the Louvre. So in the Louvre, the Mona Lisa, in the Hôtel de Cluny, you have the look. I'm going to post them, the famous tapestries of the ladies and the unicorn. So I just posted them in the chat. I let you have a look at them. You have the 5 senses, and then you have the 6 senses. Thank you, Harry. Thanks for the support. And yes, Michelle, there is a well. The only problem is that we cannot enter. Back in the days, it was the entrance of the museum, but now the entrance is over there. So now, I would like to show you a famous statue. Thank you, Judy. Thanks for the support. Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much. Oh, it's windy. You can see the Sorbonne University. The building of today is from the 1800s, but the original building was in the 1200s. You know, people could go to study. They would have to pay fees. Teachers would have a salary, and that was brand new. Now, if you study at the Sorbonne or in another university and you have an exam, there's a tradition. If you want to have good luck, you touch the foot of Montaigne, a famous French writer. Thank you, Corinne. Thanks for your support. And you know, already a work of art of this culture, his name was Paul Landowski. You know, the giant statue of Jesus Christ in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, the huge statue of Jesus in Rio was made by the same sculptor. So Fraser, no, there was a street protest yesterday, but it was much more quiet than before. So the foot of Montaigne is shiny. If you touch the foot, you will have good luck for your exam. So let's continue. And we really are in the heart of the Latin culture. We can't be more in the Latin culture than right now. And the Latin Quarter is also famous for having a lot of bookstores. That's why it's a nice district. But also the highest number of independent movie theaters in the world. And some of them are pretty famous in Paris. By the way, look at this nice brasserie. I'm going to stop here, there's no car, but if you want to take a postcard of a typical Parisian brasserie, I hope you like it. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Catherine. Leslie, it was a statue of a French writer and philosopher named Montaigne. Thank you, Cheryl. Montaigne, M-O-N-T-A-I-G-N-E. Montaigne. He was living in the 1500s. On the left, Le Champeau, a very famous movie theater that is more than 80 years old. Huh? Le Champeau. Le Champeau. And we are going to climb La Rue Champollion. Hein? Champollion. Who was Champollion? Those of you who were with me in the Père Lachaise cemetery, I showed you the tomb of Champollion le Jeune. Champollion, exactly Danica, exactly Laetitia. Champollion is the Frenchman who deciphered the hieroglyphics in 1822. So another famous cinema, Le Reflet Médicis, and then you have La Filmothèque, La Filmo. The buildings you see are from the 1700s. It's very quiet here. And do you feel that I'm climbing a mountain right now? It doesn't seem so, it's more like a hill. But you have in La Filmo, you won't see the last blockbuster. You will see some very good movies from the past. The Godfather, oh, Angel Heart. Yes, I'd seen it many years, it's a good movie. Scarface, or even, you know, some movies with like from Alfred Hitchcock. Basically, that's not the last blockbusters, but either independent or classical movies. Yes, there is a theme about De Niro, exactly, Jan. Look at that. Do you see that? I'm going to zoom. This is a place where you had the pulley right there. And with the pulley, you could stock your food or things directly loaded from the street to the last floor of the building. Having a pulley like this was in the 1700s a sign of wealth. So you know what people would do? The pulley is not here anymore. Huh? The pulley was just there, and people would add fake pulleys on their buildings just to show off and show they had enough place for food. And some of them were totally fake. Huh? It's funny how people, you know, they just wanted to show they were wealthy. But it was very practical to stock food and having like heavy things in your building. On the left, you are going to see a very nice carriage door. Do you want to hear a sound from the past? Look at this carriage door for the horse-drawn carriages. And you're going to hear a sound from the past because I'm going to use this very old door knocker and I'm not doing it too loud. Open the door! Come on! No, I'm not staying here. One day the door opened, trust me. I was showing it to a guest and the door opened and it was a cleaning man who said, yes. I said, oh, I'm a guide. Can we have a look inside? I know you have a nice staircase. And they said, fine, yeah, no problem. And we could see the beautiful staircase of the 1700s. So, you know, like, but I didn't do it too loud. Huh? You can do it way louder, but it's a sound from the past because it's like this for like 300 years. Now, look at the beautiful former chapel of the Sorbonne University, rebuilt in the 1600s. And you know, we are in a student area. There is bookstores. There is, you cannot see, but around the corner, a printer shop. And many bars. Look at that. Would you like to sit in a nice Parisian cafe, having a drink? Right now, it's not too warm, not too cold. In the Latin Quarter, my favorite district. Well, if you visit Paris, it's a good place to stay, the Latin Quarter. Trust me, you can find some affordable places. It's quite central, it's safe. Lots of restaurants, cafes, lots of a great cultural offer, museums, and of course the Luxembourg Gardens, my favorite gardens, and where I'm taking you right now. So Elsie, is it expensive? Well, it depends. It's not the cheapest district of Paris, I have to admit, especially for living. But when you know the good places that I can advise you to go, you can, it's not so expensive. So we are going to see a major monument of the Latin Quarter pretty soon. So it doesn't feel it, but I'm climbing the mountain Sainte Geneviève. That's the official name, it's a mountain. So I've been climbing it almost totally. And that is exactly where the Romans had the center of the city. You can see now another movie theater. So lots of students around. Another movie theater. Thank you, Susan. Rebecca, yes, you can schedule a tour end of May or June. I would be happy to guide you. Now, I must say that until end of June, I'm almost totally booked. But we can find some time. But yes, I'm working very often in the museum. I spent the 2 last days in Versailles. And Versailles, the Louvre. Well, you know, I like my profession. Like Versailles and the Louvre are my office. You know, when I am in Versailles, I say, do you like my gardens? I'm very happy of the work of my gardeners. Look, it's a 2,000 acres garden, and it's mine. Nobody believes me, but I don't care. And you always see the gardeners doing something. And it's very beautiful. Look at that. Look at the beautiful Pantheon. The beautiful Pantheon built in the 1700s. And the place, I would like this car to move, the place where the famous people of France are buried, like Victor Hugo, Marie Curie, Voltaire, Rousseau, even Josephine Baker. So yes, don't hesitate to contact me if you're going to Paris. We can find some time. And yes, the address, oops, the line is green, but, oh, the police let us go. Perfect. They seem to be, yeah, the light is green for the pedestrians. So look at that, it's a very lively neighborhood. So yes, if you want to continue to have information, pariswithflo@gmail.com. I will tell you where I will give my next virtual tours. And add me on Facebook, Paris with Flo. Thank you, Linda. We are now arriving. Look at the light we have. We are blessed. We are blessed because we are arriving soon to my favorite garden. What a nice light. You know, I'm a photographer and the light is so important. Kat, I do group tours and individual tours. No, Patricia, there is no space in my Gmail address. Paris with Flo gmail.com. Natalie, I'm not yet on Buy Me a Coffee, but it is something I will solve very quickly. Thank you, Meredith. Thank you very much. What a nice light. You know that's the best light to take pictures? Trust me, the photographer is speaking now. That's the best light. End of the day, beginning of the spring or beginning of the fall also offer lights like this. Yes, you're right, MB, about the red beret. So, the golden hour, exactly, Jacqueline. And let's enter the Luxembourg Gardens. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Teresa. Thanks for the support. Thank you very much. And I'm going to show you a different part today. Thank you, VTS. Thank you, Natalie. Thanks for your support. Look at this light we have. So I'm going to go in a part that I haven't been yet on Hego. So the destination, I showed it to you, but the way to go there, it's my favorite public garden of Paris. And I'm going to show you the most romantic fountain of Paris. Hello, Holly. One of my gardens, exactly, Eva. So we are going to see the Medici fountain. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Oh, wow. Hey, look at the shade of the tree. Pretty nice. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for the support. Wow, I can't believe Hego is stopping. That has been such an important part of, you know, my tours at the end of the afternoon and meeting you and seeing you coming back to my tours. Really, it is a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Susie. Thank you very much for the support. So I'm taking you now to the Medici fountain. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Joanne. Thanks for the support. Thank you. It really means to me. Thank you, Beate. Danke. So yes, I have 2 more tours on Hego. One tomorrow, the highlights of Paris, the first district, and my goodbye tour next Monday. I will film from a private terrace with the best panoramic view of Paris. So it won't be a tour because I'm going to stay in the same location. But if you want to see the best panoramic view of Paris, thank you, Stephanie and Mike, join me next Monday and you will see the view from Montmartre that you have seen in my tours is nice. But the one I will show you is twice, you see twice more. You see 2 times more Paris on that view from a private location. And of course it will be a first on Hego. So Becky, it will be 5 p.m. Parisian time. But if you go on the website of Hego, it will translate it at the hour of your residence. Look at this beautiful place. Can you tell me if you like this fountain Medici? Thank you, Richard. Do you like the Medici fountain? I hope you do. The light is very nice. The people are gone, Florence, because I told the people before arriving, I want nobody around the fountain, I'm going to film. So they heard me, they said, oh no, Florence is coming, he doesn't want us here. Well, now, yeah, they have been nice, they can return. I let the people return, I'm now going, but that's the most romantic fountain of Paris. That's what people say. I'm going to show you a nice view. I'm going to show you many nice views, but I want to show you now in a very nice golden hour the Pantheon, and you will see. If you want to take a postcard, I'm going to show you the faun rehearsing the Greek actor right now at the sun with the Pantheon in the back. I hope you like the composition. Lots of flowers. My gardeners are working very well because I used to live 2 years in this district when I was a student, and one more time I was saying this was my private garden and that I really enjoyed the work of my gardeners. Nobody believed me, but it's such a nice garden. Only one thing, that's the beginning of the spring, so the palm trees, the lemon trees, the oleander and other trees like that are still in the greenhouse. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Beth. Thanks for your support. Thank you very much. And let's see. You have the flowers. You have on the right the Senate of France. And we're arriving to the center. You will see, I will turn around at some point, but look at the beautiful colors. And you know, that's so sad that Hego is closing, because you have now some of the best lights of the year. And I was thinking to take you in many gardens. So sorry to tease you, but yes, that was the truth. I had prepared some new tours. And then all of a sudden, oh no, in 11 days it's over. Okay. So, very, very sad. But look, thank you, Kat. Yes, Cynthia, I will find a way. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Nanette. Thank you very much. And look, the Parisians love this garden. I don't know, Doreen, how to keep your postcards. I think you should download them. That's a good idea, Eva. I would like it to reopen. That would be so great. Yes, Nicoletta is writing, you have to download the postcard on Drive. And you have the Senate. Let's go around. Oh, Joyce is asking what month is the best to visit Paris. My advice is April and September. April, because look at the weather we have. April is chilly in the evening, in the morning. Oh, look, the fishes. Do you see them? Yes, you do. I can see them on the screen. You can see now the Palace of the Luxembourg. We are in the Luxembourg Gardens. and you can see the beautiful palace built from 1612 to 1625 by Salomon de Brosse for the Queen Mary of Medici. So I would like to invite you to join my tour tomorrow of the first district and my goodbye tour on Hago. I will probably know more about the future of the live tours. And in front of this beautiful view, I wanted to thank you my tour. So of course there will be more. How, when, I don't know yet, but we will find the solutions with the other guides. And many times a year. Thank you all for your support, and really let's continue the tours together on a different platform. We will find which one. I agree, Sandia. My gardeners, they do a great job. So thank you. Oh, a reason for my long beard? Well, I don't know. I just let it grow. I just let it grow, and so I don't have to shave. And well, that's there's no really reason. I'm used to it. I would feel naked without it. So that's why I keep it. I understand, MB, you wanted to know forever, so now you're asking. Thank you, Grazina. Thank you all for your nice words. And yes, I hope to see you tomorrow and Monday. Trust me, it will be only one location, but you will see a place that you cannot see because normally it's a private place. It's a and well, I'm going to sit a little bit and drink some water here in my favorite garden. Oh, Heidi, I think it's a bit late for looking at the books. I'm thinking, usually I do the tours at 5 p.m., but today I started at 6 p.m. So I will sit like 5 minutes and then I will go home. No new books today, finally. And so, hoping to see you soon on Hago tomorrow or the day or Monday. And thank you all for your nice messages. So, oh, it's not the best view for you to see me. That's the best one. So we can see the sun. And thank you again for joining. We will find a solution. And it was really a pleasure to guide you today in the Latin Quarter, my favorite district. Maybe you know why now it's my favorite district. And I really hope to see you soon. 2 more tours, but there will be more for sure. We just need to find a solution. So as I said, add me on Facebook, Paris with Flo. And if you're not on Facebook, write me an email, pariswithflo@gmail.com, and I will send you like a newsletter, you know, like a thing. So it won't happen within 2 days. It takes some time, but I will find a solution. And trust me, I really want to thank you because it has been so great. It's not finished. I know, it's not finished yet, but it has been so great to meet you different days in the week. So for like 2.5 years. You remember? I was the second guy on Hago, so I'm here from the very beginning, and we will continue. So thank you. See you tomorrow, or Monday, or later. So